So welcome back, and in unboxing your purchase, you'll get the new X5 model itself, one infrared remote, one HDMI cable, your 5V 2A DC power adapter, a user manual and a quick start guide. The design of the box itself we would recognize right away as being the same model as the HK1R-Box X4S and the Transpeed X4, with this glossy surface with the Tanggula branding, and to the corners you have some cooling vents. For I/O ports, it comes with one HDMI port, one RJ45 Ethernet LAN port, one optical audio, one AV port and its DC power input to the rear. To its side, it has one USB 3.0 port, one USB 2.0, and a micro SD card reader. At the front, it has an LED display. And below the box has these tiny ventilation holes. So the boot up process of this model starts with the Tanggula X5 animation, after which you are taken directly to its launcher. So the launcher in this model we have already seen and grown accustomed to, consisting of these main icons and a shortcuts bar below here. It comes with a one-click button for freeing up system resources, and it has a navigation bar and a full status bar with system controls. It also has the option to change its wallpaper from a default set, or you can upload your own custom wallpaper. So for a quick run through of its core firmware features, under the About tab it shows that the operating system is Android 11, and here is its firmware build information. You also have access to the developer options. When connected to a 4K HDR TV, it has 4K 2160p resolution at 59.94 Hz as detected by my capture card, but it can reach up to 8K at 24 frames per second according to the product description. It has HDR display with the option to set it to adaptive HDR, and this is HDR+, and here it shows I can adjust the color space settings to get 10-bit HDR, 12-bit HDR, and you can even set it to 12-bit 422 if that's the highest color depth your TV can handle. It has HDMI CEC options and surround sound audio options under this section that is labeled as display and sound under device preferences. There is another section called more settings, and in this section you will find a root switch, hardware monitor options, and you have the option to enable or disable the navigation bar and status bar. In the main settings area, you have wireless updates, 54 various languages to choose from, you have screensaver and energy saver options, and you have the option for connecting Bluetooth remote and wireless controllers. If you press and hold the power button on the remote, you get the options to power down or restart the box. However, there is no power key definition options to control the behavior of the power button when you press it once. It simply puts the box into standby. So the only features missing in this firmware is built-in screen rotation to portrait mode. It does not have a split screen feature. You cannot use live wallpapers, and there is no power key definition options. So, in the app section, these are the apps that come pre-installed, and I'll first start with a look at its system and hardware information. So this chipset is Amlogic, and it comes with 4GB of DDR3 RAM and 128GB of internal storage, from which this is the remainder after the Android installation and apps installed. The Bluetooth version is 4.1. The CPU component of this SoC is the Amlogic S905X4, which is a quad-core Cortex A55 CPU clocked at 2.0 GHz, configured in 32-bit mode, which means it can only run 32-bit apps and games. The display component is the Mali G31 graphics processor with a refresh rate of 60 Hz on my 4K TV with Open GL ES version 3.2 support. Its network adapter is a dual-band 2.4 plus 5 GHz Wi-Fi adapter, as it shows that the 5 GHz band is supported. Its operating system is Android 11 Red Velvet Cake, and it shows that this firmware is rooted. Under Devices, it shows that the GPU component has Vulkan support, and this is version 1.1. Under Temperature, it shows that the CPU idles around 68 degrees Celsius. Under Codecs, I can identify all the decoders for the playback of 4K HDR videos such as H.264, HEVC, the VP9 decoder, the AV1 decoder, and I can also identify decoders for surround sound audio such as Dolby Atmos AC3, DTS HD, and Dolby Vision decoders, and I'll be testing these later in the video. And that's its system and hardware information. For playing premium movie streaming services such as Netflix in resolutions such as HD 1080p and 4K 2160p requires that your box be Google certified, not rooted, and must also have the digital rights and signal encryption to protect their services from piracy. The new standard for streaming devices is that it must either run an official version of Android TV OS or Google TV OS to acquire these digital rights and certification. Without these requirements, you can still install these apps on your box, but they will all be limited to basic 480p resolution even though you are paying for an HD or 4K subscription. The firmware that comes on this box is not Google certified, nor does it have the digital rights for premium services to show in HD or 4K, and it's also running a hybrid version of Android where its Google Play services is Android TV OS and its interface is from the mobile version, which means this box is not qualified to play premium services in HD and 4K and will be limited to basic 480p resolution. Here it shows that the box is rooted, and it does indeed have a root switch where you can switch it off. However, due to the lack of required digital rights, you will still be blocked from HD and 4K as it requires wideband level 1 with HDCP protection. This version of Netflix I'm running is a modified version that can play in HD resolution only given the right operating system such as Android TV OS with wideband level 1 and HDCP protection. To get your hands on this version, you can contact me via email at tvboxstop@gmail.com. For watching YouTube videos, it comes with the Android TV version and it can play up to 4K 2160p resolution with HDR on this TV. For screen mirroring and casting your mobile devices, it comes with the official version of Miracast. However, the app is not working, so I used the included AirScreen app instead. The only difference with the Miracast app and the AirScreen app is that the Miracast app allows you to mirror your mobile device in HD, where the AirScreen app is limited to basic 480p. The screen rotation feature, the portrait mode for vertical displays, is not working. However, the only orientation that works is reverse landscape. For customizing your Tanggula experience, the firmware allows you to install alternative launchers and custom wallpapers. Here I installed the ADW Launcher 2 and the Nova 7 launcher, and they both work with features such as long-click menu pop-ups, widgets, and drag and drop shortcuts. And despite having these useful features, this firmware itself does not support split screen feature. Also, if you set your alternative launcher as your default launcher, the box boots into your alternative launcher upon every restart. And to test its 4K HDR decoders, I will now play my list of 4K videos consisting of various formats, and this is to monitor for smoothness of playback and for the HDR display feature triggering on my LG TV.
only a win for Barca would be enough, because it would give them the same number of points as Atletico, but the head-to-head goal difference is what counts in the case of a tie on points. The mosaic of
So all of the videos played smoothly, including the AB1 video, and the HDR feature was activated on my LG 4K TV during the playback. In testing for surround sound audio formats, I tried numerous media players to see if I could achieve all major formats such as Dolby Atmos, DTS-X, DTS HD Master Audio, Dolby Surround from Dolby Vision Videos, and Dolby True HD. And after testing, I discovered that the best media player for surround sound audio is its default movie player, as it plays most of the formats, and the others had issues playing some of the major ones.
This is Dolby Atmos, the world's first object-based cinematic audio. With powerful moving audio that transcends from channels to moving around you with pinpoint accuracy.
From this demonstration, it shows that even though this firmware has all the required decoders to play all of the major formats, it can only output Dolby Atmos, DTS Neural X, which is a virtualized version of DTS-X, and Dolby Surround, which is audio from Dolby Vision videos. What you don't get is true DTS-X, DTS HD Master Audio, or Dolby True HD. Another great feature with this box is its ability to play Android games with its CPU clocked at 2.0 GHz for great processing speed and its GPU with Vulkan support. However, unique to this model is the issue of overheating due to its tiny ventilation hose below that's insufficient to allow airflow through the top cooling vents. So in this demonstration, I'll play two Android games, one with normal room temperature and a gamepad connected via Bluetooth, and another game with a cooling fan placed below the box for added ventilation, and I'll be using a wireless PC keyboard and mouse together with a Keymapping app. So its graphics rendering is really good and its CPU and GPU is well suited for playing Android games. However, in the first game, temperatures rose into the 90s, which could affect the longevity of the chipset. So it's recommended that you use a cooling fan below the box if you intend to play Android games. This is not needed if you only intend to use it for streaming live TV. So when I applied a cooling fan to this game, the temperature remained in the 60s, which is acceptable. Also, due to the box being rooted, I was able to use the Panda Keymapping app successfully to perform touchscreen functions. So if you would like to know which is the best cooling fan for TV boxes, see the link in the description below this video. And to close off this video, let's take a look at its benchmarks and where it places on the rankings chart. First, its RAM and internal storage. In this test, it shows that it has a RAM copy speed of 3430 megabytes per second. Its internal storage has a read speed of 172 megabytes per second and a write speed of 131. Next, the results from the test performed on the speed of its Wi-Fi bands and Ethernet LAN port. And the results show that on its 5 GHz band and on the LAN port, based on my network speed of 250 megabits per second, they were able to reach the maximum speed of my bandwidth. The 2.4 GHz band, on the other hand, achieved only 22%. So for the best network speeds, use the 5 GHz band and the LAN port, which also confirms that the LAN port is a gigabit LAN port. If your internet speed is below 100 megabits per second, then the 2.4 GHz band will be sufficient. Another thing you should know is that this network adapter is not Wi-Fi 6 compatible. The test performed on the speed of its Amlogic S905X4 CPU in a single core and a multi-core environment resulted in a score of 747 single core and 2151 multi-core. And in a similar test performed this time on its GPU resulted in a score of 5898 in the Ice Storm Extreme test, 586 in the Slingshot test, and 373 in the Slingshot Extreme test with Vulkan support. And finally, in the Antutu benchmark, which is an all-in-one comprehensive benchmark, resulted in a score of 90,773. So all these benchmarks are either above or within acceptable range, which augurs well for the performance of this box. So let's now see where it places on the rankings chart. So the scores are in, and the new Tanggula X5 is at position 26 in reference to Antutu benchmark scores, which is a direct result of its CPU being clocked at 2.0 GHz. You can view this chart on my blog where you can compare various benchmark scores and price comparison pages using these links right here. A link to this chart can be found in the description directly below this video. So all of the mumbling about the price in other recent models, with this one you get great value. My only concern with Tanggula going forward is that they change the housing of their models to a more well-ventilated one to avoid overheating. You should also take note of the Wi-Fi adapter Wi-Fi 6 compatibility issue. And that brings to an end my review. So if you are looking to purchase this model and you are concerned about the price, you can get a discount of up to 5% using my exclusive coupon which I placed in the description below this video. Special thanks goes out to Tanggula for sending this one for review. If you like this model and enjoyed the video, then hit the thumbs up to support this channel. If you landed on this video for the first time and would like to see more interesting live streaming Android boxes, then hit the red subscribe button and the notifications bell below this video to keep in the loop as to when I release new videos or decide to do a giveaway. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. Stay tuned and see you in the next one.